like to take you through a journey which we as ARDA have traveled. ARDA is a parastatal within our country, Zimbabwe. Our major task is to produce food in the following segments: crops, livestock, plantations, and horticulture. Those key segments contribute to our gross domestic product. During the last 6 years, we've traveled a journey where we now see the benefits of the public sector, the private sector coming together for the simple reason of producing value for the good of our nation and our economy. We'll see today the positive benefits which come from a sound policy which is now in effect for the last 24 months. We at ARDA had already started our journey. We are now contributing at least 15% of our petrol. We produce it in Zimbabwe through ethanol, sugarcane production. We went to Brazil in 2009. We observed what Brazil is doing, how much fuel contributes to our economy, and we felt that we have the necessary resources. We've got the weather, we've got the climate, we've got the skills to deploy to extract value from the land. And I'm pleased to say today 15% of our petrol is produced within the country. We now come to opportunities within the cropping sector. Wheat, maize, soybean, small grains, we are now producing under the business model of a private public sector approach. We are now in our 4th year of production. Results are already on the ground, and I'm pleased to advise that the personnel operating and running these companies are all Zimbabwean, deploying Zimbabwean capital. We need investment, private investment, institutional investment to fast track our production base and model. We feel that the technical know-how to process our food is still here. We need, of course, to invest in our industry, better machinery, better technology, but the source of raw materials, we believe now we are reaching out to all Zimbabweans. And fortunately, we have got sectors and constituencies of expertise within our economy. Yesterday, there were challenges within the land issues, but I'm pleased to advise that there is now common sense which is prevailing throughout, and we have seen now a greater offtake of land utilization under a team effort. Team Zimbabwe is now working. We've realized that it is a limited option to import food for our nation. Limited resources we are attaining must be deployed for further production and processing. We need to build our research, which will lead us to our production base, equally to the processing position. The marketing, we believe it's in place, and of course, the consumption. If we can master and maintain an annual progress where there is increased production, then we believe that Zimbabwe will retain its status not only for food adequacy within our economy, but very much to be a key player within the region. I must add and say, in Africa, there's been a tendency to concentrate on politics. We are a new breed of Zimbabweans who believe that business and the money issues complement our politics. Let's split our energy between politics, yes, but more importantly on business and the money issues. We are going around the world to tell our story, to see that those with capital, they can invest in Zimbabwe. It's not about wanting to invest, it's about telling the story of those who are already invested, who are reaping the benefits. The returns are good because Africa, especially with the climate change scenario, we are going to have a serious food deficit. And to graduate from that, Zimbabwe, under the Zim Asset Program, an economic program to underpin food security within our nation, is now taking root. Fortunately, from yesterday, we have got a strong European position which was retained over the years. We are now working together to extract value. We are anxious to tide up our past, but that can only come from organized production of food crops. And we believe Zimbabwe, we have embarked on that. We retain one key aspect, one major resource, that's the climate. We also have a trained personnel base. We lack at this hour long-term finance. We would like to see the fusion of yesterday's skills and the young graduates coming from our tertiary institutions coming together, imparting of skills so that they also retain a passion and practical approach to agriculture. I urge all those who can invest at this hour to take positions, because these are real wonderful opportunities which are now emerging in the new economy within Zimbabwe. The private sector must come to the table. Yes, yesterday there were challenges, but today we can tell of a different story. I'm a product of a private sector. I was schooled in UK. I came back to my country, took up a position within the private sector, and I have a passionate position on farming. The quickest return after mining, the best is agriculture. Within 270 days, one retains significant returns on farming. It's a profitable venture because it's a market-led at this hour. And we fortunately retain water. We are the most dammed nation within SADC, Southern African Development Community. And that water must be deployed because now we are farming under different conditions. We also believe that corporate farming must now take root. Mechanization is a key position in attaining better yields and productivity. The range of wildlife which can be done and maintained in Zimbabwe, livestock, plantations, all these are products which I believe we must find resources so that we can deploy under a sound business model where both parties will attain a win-win position. We want to engage a bank with European foundations but operating in Africa so that the function of treasury of that money can be housed outside Zimbabwe to reinforce confidence, to gain confidence from investors that if they part with their hard-earned money, it is secure under a tried and respected European bank, but operating within the laws of our country, Zimbabwe. We retain a strong constituency of skills outside our country. Those skills, we want them to be married within activities within our economy. To rebuild Zimbabwe, it's ourselves. That is one responsibility we cannot delegate. Yes, like anything else, a journey starts with a step. And I'm inviting all Zimbabweans to take positions. Your money, if you can't come physically, let your capital take a position through a negotiated, agreed structure outside our borders, qualified by those who are experts in finance, so that it's deployed for the simple reason of extraction value and build our economy to what it can be. As I speak to you now, we are already producing wheat in 6 of our 8 rural provinces. It's doing well. We are already producing maize in 7 of our 8 provinces. We are doing livestock in 8 of our provinces. We are doing plantations, sugarcane to be precise, and tea in 2 of our provinces. We are fortunate that the climate suits at least 16 crops which can do very well under managed production. So these are results, and really from this I'm saying the basis, the foundation is in motion. Let us now engage by accessing additional capital to accelerate development and food security for our country, Zimbabwe. During the last 36-40 months, we have engaged with all respective communities within Zimbabwe. The white population, which used to be a key producer of crops and services, had taken a back seat. But under this program, we've invited them back, and they are participants, key participants in a fusion where both graduates from our respective colleges, farmers and government were coming together for the common good of extracting value from our land, Zimbabwe.
Right now, we've planted in 507 hectares of summer maize. Before this, we had 436 hectares of winter wheat, and we managed, out of that, our output was 7.9 tons per hectare. And on this summer maize, we're expecting a yield of 1:10. So basically, some private players, they are reluctant or they fear to partner with the government. But to us as Trade Petroleum, we're seeing it as a very good move. What we did, where we diversify from petroleum sector to agricultural sector, and it's going on well. No complications, no problems so far. Everything is running well, smoothly, and for sure we're expecting a good yield.
I'm Graham Smith. I'm the Area General Manager for the project down here in the Lowveld. Predominantly, we have a very good support base from the local community. We obviously employ a very large number of these people in the project, and they've seen the benefits to them both from an economic point of view and from a social development point of view within the area. So we do have the support of majority of the local community.
This project that we are involved in is about reviving horticulture, value chains, food production, and as you know, we have taken some first little milestones and baby steps. So we feel very encouraged by policymakers coming to see what we are doing, what the opportunities and challenges of the project are, and we had a very fruitful discussions about how we can take the project forward and build and ramp up on the capacities, on production capacity, both of the fruits as well as the processing in the plant. So it's it's another significant milestone on the way to reviving horticulture and food value chains in Zimbabwe.
At Eastern Highlands, we produce close to 4.5 million kilos of tea, supported by 1,200 outgrowers within the vicinity of Kondi Valley who produce tea, and we make sure that all the tea which is being produced is being done, that raw material is converted into sellable black tea in the overseas international market.
Ndinoda kutenda nezvekuti zuva ranhasi ndinoona kuti izuva rakakodza zvikuru, izuva ratangidza chinangwa chokuvaka nokusimudza nzvimbo yanga yakavata. Ndiri kuona kuti madambudziko anga aripo anogona kugadzirisika kana takabatanidza musoro takaedza kuti tizviite tiri tega hazvifambi, asi takabatanidza pfungwa zvinoona kuti zvinobudira. Saka ipapo ndinoda kutenda.
Commercial agriculture in Zimbabwe is only slightly less than 100 years old. It's not 1,000 years old. A lot of evolution's taken place. There's been a lot of settling down, gelling, understandings, misunderstandings, and so on. But as farmers, we need to divorce ourselves from those misunderstandings that may have arisen, and it's time for us all to look forward. We need to remember what happened in the past so we don't make similar mistakes, but it's time to be positive and look forward. We farm alongside people of all color, religion and beliefs, and because we're all agriculturalists, we coexist very, very well. It's not about race and it's not about the past. It's really about the future and how well we can embrace the opportunities, embrace each other, treat each other as fellow men and fellow citizens, and work positively together to capitalize on our mutual strengths and to try where possible to minimize on the few weaknesses that may have existed. So we've come a long way and it's a great opportunity for me. I have grandchildren in this country, I have children that are in the agricultural industry with me, and I'm looking forward to a great future together.
We are now graduating from yesterday. We have already graduated. What you see is real, it's happening. This business model, for it to be accelerated, it needs additional, both long-term and short-term capital injection. We want to gain that tag which we retained yesterday of being the breadbasket of Zimbabwe. It's a marathon, but be very assured we are already running. And we believe that if we accelerate, the land is there, the water is there, there's a nucleus, there's a business model which is taking root, which is yielding results. It's a market-led production. What is lacking is the will, and we need capital. Capital, it's a process. We must gain the confidence of the investor. The investor must set out the rules. We must negotiate and come to a position where both parties, under a referee, a tried and tested bank, we believe we can extract additional value on behalf of our economy.